Hello, KMS. Happy Monday. Today is February 8th. We're filming this the day before, so I'm hoping that you're waking up to a Chiefs Super Bowl win. We'll see if that's true. This week's goals include your second grade is going to be happening today on Monday. You're going to be publishing your coding page of your tech portfolio. So that interactive game last week, you're going to put screenshots of and post on your portfolio. Tuesday through Friday, we're going to be using Tinkercad. We have the option of, we have 3D printers, we have laser engravers, and we have a wood shop. All of those things require design. Tinkercad is a CAD program, a computer aided design program that can help you basically communicate your ideas because sometimes a picture is worth 1,000 words. So we're going to go through this week with some basic stuff, just how to edit in Tinkercad, how to go through and talk about 3D prints so you can watch ahead, things that we've actually made in real life. And the goal is that we want to end up designing by the end of our remote time together. So before we go back to school, we want to have a good design for your interactive game. So with a Makey controller, you can actually interact with your code that you already did in Scratch. So let's get into it for today. The first thing I'm going to need you to do is open up a brand new tab and go to your waffle on the right-hand side and go to your Google Drive. So remember, your Google Drive, that's where you're able to save things. So the first day really of tech, we created a Google site. So if you have not done so, make sure that you look back on the classwork page of Google Classroom and check out the assignment from the first and how to make this Google site. So I'm just going to open this one up. And on your homepage, you can change that image to be anything that you want that's school appropriate. Take some time today just to make sure the only thing I really want you to have on your thing is that your name is first and last, things are spelled correctly, and you have technology portfolio. Over here on the right-hand side, please click Pages. You're going to have a coding page. So to get this, you're going to click on this plus button here and New Page. You're going to name it Coding. I'm just going to escape out of that because I already did that. Sometimes it picks the same image, so you want to change this image. So again, you can do that on your own. You can select an image. So you can even search for things on your Google Drive. So perhaps there's something about Scratch that I have. Let me just see if there's any like Scratch pictures. No, I don't want any of those. That's funny. So perhaps not in my drive. Maybe I'll search Scratch coding or just coding. So let's see if that pops up. Cool. All right. So what I'd like you to have is you're going to have a blank space here. On my coding page, have the cheat sheet because that's something that you might want access to. You're going to have this block of code. I'll add this onto Google Classroom. Scratch is a programming language. There are lots of different languages that you can code with, and Scratch is just one of them. So you're going to add this. It allows for you to create code and share interactive media like stories, games, or animations. That's the sentence that I would like you to add. On mine, I have that, this is what we worked on last week. So I'm just going to scroll down and pretend this isn't here for a second. What I'd like you to do is add your Scratch game. So pretend that this is just blank here. When you double click on it, you can add a text box. You can add images. You can upload things. You can add things from Drive, or you can embed links. And this is really the goal here. We want to be able to play your game right on your site. So in a separate tab, I'm going to open up my Scratch game. Okay. Now my Scratch game, when I sign in, it was under my stuff. This is the project page, right? So today, please take some time and you're going to name it your name and then like the game, interactive game. I have it super specific because that's what I like to do. Please have instructions on how to play your game. So you could say something like using the arrow keys, capture as many francs as possible. So that in 10 seconds, right? So it says like what your goal is and like how long you do it for. All right, so this is all well and good. When you see inside, just double check. I'm just going to click on it for a second so you can see. Make sure that this orange share button is clicked. Okay, otherwise we won't be able to see your stuff. Again, if you want to go back last week, what we did is you have at least one sprite that moves with the arrow keys. You have another sprite that falls. And when they interact, they somehow change how they look and they gain points. At the end, you just have like the score displayed and then you're good. So hopefully what we can do, folks, is I'm going to go back to the project page. On here, you can add it to the class studio. So I'll add mine to like the white studio. So if you have me in here, you'll be able to see my code. The other thing that you can do is you can copy the link. So this blue button right here. Now, if you just want to copy the link, that's fine, right? You can just highlight this, or you can even say copy link. When you go back to your tech portfolio, you double click, the one on the left-hand side, that's where you can embed your URL link. So the one that has like the HTTP, it'll say like, oh, I can't embed it, but it'll work. So it'll put it on there, and then people will be able to click on it. But what's more impressive is if you're in here and you want to copy the embedded code. So when I say copy embedded code, this is actually going to allow the game to play on your site. So again, in Google site, if you double click, you're going to embed that code, but that's where you have to click on embedded code and it makes a much larger space. You can right click and just paste it in there. And then when you say next, it'll show you the preview of your game. It does take a second for it to load, but that's awesome. You can just say insert. All right, so on your page, this is what you should have. Not only the link to your project, but also the embedded code. You don't have to have the link, but I do want your code embedded. The other thing that you have to have for a grade is basically you're going to explain what this project is. So that's where you're going to take, you can even take my example here and it explains like, all right, in this game, Frank has to, the beetle has to catch Frank's falling from the sky. So that's what you could type here. In this interactive game, the beetle is controlled with the arrow keys and gets points for catching Frank as he falls from the sky. Sorry for having to listen to me while I verbally spoke that out. But basically, you're just going to explain like, hey, in this game, the beetle is controlled with the arrow keys and gets points for catching Frank as he falls from the sky. The end. It's wonderful, right? Now, in your Google site, this is what I would like to have on your page. So I just wanted to show you a student's Google site. Again, this is the student. They had their project, they had their embedded code, and I made this game called the donut game. The donuts are falling from the game, and the basketball is moving everywhere, blah, blah, blah. Aren't things wonderful? They even included an emoji. Awesome. So how do we see this? You need to click publish. All right. So when you click publish, it's like, hey, are you sure you want to publish it? It always asks you a second time. So yes, you do want to click publish for the second time up here. Just give it a second to think about its life. All right. So double check your work. So next to that publish button is that triangle. The third option down is to view your published site. So here we go. Our coding page. Again, students, you don't need to have the interactive cheat sheet, although you could if you wanted to. But you should have what Scratch is, so you can copy this sentence from mine. And then I explain the game in great detail. So I'll move that down. And then I said in this interactive game, blah, 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 blah. So you should have something that looks like that. All right. You're going to take your site and copy that link. That's what you're going to add to the assignment that's going to be on here. There'll be a Google form. Please add your link there. Okay, so far after today, you have 2 grades. You have a grade for submitting your portfolio, and then you have a grade for your coding page. Your coding page has your interactive game on it, an explanation of your game, and a link. If you need help embedding the code, please rewatch this video because it's pretty simple. Again, in Scratch, just make sure that everything is shared, and then you can copy the embedded code. All right, KMS, I'm looking forward to a great week. The rest of the week, we'll be doing some CAD stuff. So today, finish up your interactive game. If your game is not functional, but you tried and you put in our efforts in every single day, you will get a perfect score. If you did not try last week, you have time to catch up. So if you'd like to do that, you can. Starting tomorrow, we'll start using Tinkercad. So I look forward to designing with those. And then I'll be back in the building starting Friday. So I hope that Friday's class will be broadcasting from our classroom. So check out our what's going on for the week. Again, all your resources are on Google Classroom for today's assignment, your graded assignments, and then what we're doing on the daily. Have a great week, KMS. Happy Monday. Go Chiefs, and we'll check you later. Thanks.